I'm well prepared, so I'm not that nervous. There's a little bit of adrenaline in my body, but I think that's good. But I'm 10 years now in this European Parliament, so I suppose that I'm well prepared for this exam, and that will go rather well, but one never knows. So a little bit of nervousness is still there. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Please sit down.
Thanks very much.
I'm Alice. Today I will examine you on behalf of children and young people on EU issues. As I'm half Dutch and half Colombian, I have brought a gift for you from one of my countries. It's Dutch cheese from the Netherlands. Here you are.
Thank you very much. It's Gouda cheese.
Yes, the best one. You will have 10 yes or no questions, and you get to pass one. So the first question, do you think that the European Parliament will cease to have its seat in Strasbourg?
Yes.
Do you think that Europe will become more and more relevant for citizens' their lives?
Yes.
Is this the end of the euro as we know it?
No.
Will Turkey one day become a member of the European Union?
Yes.
Will there be a European army?
Yes.
Are European servants and politicians like you overpaid?
No.
Should Europe keep on enlarging?
No.
Does a steady economy get priority over an ambitious climate plan?
Skip.
Do member states need a common European system to treat asylum seekers in the best way?
Certainly yes.
Is youth unemployment in the long term damaging for society even more than the aging of a population? Tricky question.
Yes. Yes. They are both important, yeah. That's an impossible one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Danger, do not feed the Eurosceptics. Yeah, and it's the Eurosceptic pole that's trying to threatening the traditional parties. I suppose that's Obama and Merkel and poor David Cameron, I suppose, who is feeding the Eurosceptic beast. You can see that every moment he will break out of the cage.
And do you think that will happen?
When we keep on feeding it, yeah. This is a cartoon that really is representing a big danger for Europe. Yeah. Because we're in the midst of an economic crisis, and then you have a rise of populism and nationalism and Euroscepticism and against this house and taking powers away from Brussels and Strasbourg back to the national member states. So we have to stand firm and say to the Eurosceptics, you stay in your cage and we go for a strong and for an efficient Europe.
But is that the right approach? Because in my country, the Netherlands, the national rhetorics are flourishing. And actually what many electorates are bothered about is that they have the feeling that politicians, whether at national level or European level, do not listen to the flaws they see in the European project. So shouldn't we actually give them some attention, just to calm the beast a bit?
We must not give attention, we must give attention to the Eurosceptic phenomenon, but not follow them. We have to listen to the citizens and to their problems. We have to make clear to citizens that by means of a strong and an effective Europe, not doing everything, but concentrating on the main issues, on the main dossiers, meaning unemployment, making the economy stronger.
But that's all very abstract. How do I make clear to the young people?
That's not abstract.
Like
that's
very
concrete
what the EU does for them, to convince them of the importance.
I can give you a list of 100 items what Europe does also for young people. I suppose that you're concerned about the food that you eat every day. When we talk about food safety, not endangering our climate, not endangering agriculture, that's what Europe does. Food safety. What Europe does is clean water, clean air, sustainable energy. So I think that we have to be respectful of what the European Union has done in this with respect to the climate change.
As you know, some people opinionate that the European Parliament is an ivory tower. So what do you do as an MEP to know the reality in the member states?
I know that the European Parliament is criticized for being in this ivory tower, not getting out enough. But I think that you can see around here that it proves that this is an open house. And above all, it's an open house on the internet. Even when you don't have the possibility, when you live in Athens or you live in Bratislava or whatever, you can follow most of our meetings, almost all our meetings on the internet. Most of the meetings are web streamed, whether it is the industry committee, the energy committee, whether it is the sports committee, you can follow it live on the internet in your own language. So the criticism that this is an ivory tower house, I don't think it's true. It's really the opposite. It's an open house, you can visit it every day and you can visit it all day long on the internet.
So we move on to the next question. A very important issue right now for young people is youth unemployment. The average has approached 25% in the member states, and the EU has taken some measures. But what else can the EU do to step up its measures in the field of education and employment?
Yeah, you already mentioned a very important measure the European Union has taken. The Youth Guarantee Scheme is called, meaning that each young European under 25 who's out of his education and looking for a job has the guarantee to get or an apprenticeship or an internship or a job or continued education. That's really important. And this is first of all a general economic problem. We have to reignite the motor of the European economy, take measures for the industry, take measures for small, medium-sized enterprises so that they can recruit young people. So it's really important that we give young people the opportunity to combine an education together with an apprenticeships in a company, and that would be a very good structural reform.
According to you, cheap Russian gas or the Ukraine as part of the West?
That's no dilemma. That's Ukraine as part of the West. Sure thing. What I don't mean is that Ukraine has to become a member of the European Union. What I do mean is that that we have to support those policy leaders in Ukraine that want to go for democracy, they want to go for the rule of law, they want to go for a free press. It's our duty in the European Union to support those forces in Ukraine instead of aiming just for cheap Russian gas. That's not our aim.
So currently the EU is trying to de-escalate the conflict by taking sanctions, so by freezing the assets and some visa permits. Do you think this is enough?
Is this enough? It depends on the situation on the field. When Russian aggression will continue and when it escalates into a real military conflict between the Ukrainian army and the Russian army, then we will have to go towards a further phase of sanctions and apply also economic sanctions. But we are the most important trading partner for Russia, so they have to take into account that we can damage them, where that economic sanctions can damage the European Union, but much more Russia. And I think that will help and lure the Russian authorities towards the negotiating table again.
Thank you very much for sitting this exam.
It was my pleasure.
And about the results, well, of course you will get them on May 25th, so we will have to wait until then. What will be the results?